Hello YouTube, it's Ryan here with Hobbies of Man once again, and today we're going to be doing another First Impressions review. Today we're going to be looking at The Flowers of Evil Volume 1. This is a 3-in-1 edition. It covers the first 3 volumes, and this is written by Shuzo Oshimi. This is my first Oshimi work, and it's fucking wild. It's really, really crazy. This is published by Vertical, which is technically Kodansha, but they have a different logo, so there you go. That's what that looks like. And the demographic here is shonen. It's a coming-of-age story. It has psychological drama elements, and it definitely has suspense as well. And in terms of adaptation, it has both an anime and a live-action movie, as far as I can understand. And yeah, the edition's quite good. Vertical doesn't really ever promise anything in terms of like my understanding of the manga. I also don't buy very much Vertical manga anyway, so I don't really have any special feelings towards the editions like I do for Viz or anything like that. However, this is a really good edition. It has a nice heft to it. The book is quite heavy and nice. The paper quality is quite good, and the printing is very nice and clear. And it has a few color pages. It has this one in pink, which continues on to the next page here. It has one in green, or 2 in green, and then this other one in blue back here. And it shows all 3 characters. I think it's Nakamura, Saiki, and then Kasuga, Kasuga is the boy, I think, and Saiki is the girl. And The Flowers of Evil is very difficult to kind of explain. I have really no fucking clue what it's about. I think coming of age is the most easy way to understand this story. It's about this boy who's going through puberty, and through puberty he's also discovering girls, and through girls he's also discovering that maybe he's kind of weird, and that's basically all that happens. And the kind of inciting incident of the story, because I think that's easier to explain than like what the story is about, is that this boy steals his crush's gym clothes because she left him behind, and he was there and he saw them, and then he was kind of touching them because he's a curious pubescent boy, and he wanted to see them. And then when he realizes that someone is coming, he steals them, kind of like a gut reaction kind of situation. He didn't really mean to do it, but he kind of does it, and then gets caught by Nakamura, right? I think that's her name. Let's see. Yeah, Nakamura. And she blackmails him. And the reason why she's blackmailing him is because she has this kind of crusade, this idea that, people in this little town they live in are so boring and so unperverse that they don't have anything special about them. And she thinks that that Kazuga has something, perverse about him, and she wants to help him bring it out, right? And it's very unclear and very weird. And they develop this kind of relationship with each other, where I think Nakamura kind of likes Kazuga, and then Kazuga likes, of course, his crush Saiki, who he then develops a relationship with as well. And this whole time, they're just kind of like going through their life, and we get to see, Kazuga deal with these kind of weird situations, and Nakamura kind of make him deal with these situations, and Saiki kind of not knowing what's going on, but understanding that there's something between them. And it all kind of comes to a head in this confrontation that they have. And mostly, we just kind of learn that this kid is fucking weird. And he kind of realizes this as well. And it kind of reminded me of Looking for Alaska if it was written by John Steinbeck. Now, I know that sounds insane, and honestly, it doesn't really make that much sense. But when I was reading this, at the end of reading this, I thought of Looking for Alaska, and then I thought about, like, East of Eden. And I don't know why. I thought of those 2 books, and then I thought, like, yeah, John Green's kind of like teenager angst storytelling from Looking for Alaska specifically, because if I remember correctly, Looking for Alaska is about this boy who is really interested in this girl, and he realizes at the end of the story that the girl doesn't exist, as in, like, the person that he thought she was doesn't exist. She also died, spoiler alert. And he realizes that he loved the idea of the girl, not the girl herself. And in the case of Steinbeck, I just think that the way this story is told is very linear and dry and clear, but it's also very confusing. And in high school, when I was reading Steinbeck's books, like East of Eden and Grapes of Wrath. That's kind of felt as well when I was reading them. And so in my mind, I thought John Steinbeck wrote John Green's Looking for Alaska, and that's what stuck in my mind. It doesn't necessarily explain anything about the story. That's just how I formulated it in my brain. So, let me know what you guys think about that, because it's honestly very weird. And in terms of like what I think about this story, I think it's fucking weird, man. It's very, very odd. And honestly, when I started the story, I didn't really care much for it. I think the first volume was interesting, but kind of lame. Like, there wasn't much going on. The second one was much better, but by the end of the third volume, by the end of the whole novel, or the whole manga, I was really, really interested in seeing what happens, because this confrontation that they have leads to some interesting questions. And I'm actually really curious about how this boy decides what to do with his life, because there's basically this idea that they're trapped in this little village or this little town, and Nakamura wants to leave because she hates the people around it, because she thinks they're all basic and boring and there's nothing special about them, and she thinks Kazuha it might be special, and he wants to join her because she makes him feel special. And then Saiki is like the girl that he likes, but he's not sure that he likes her truly. If he's curious if he has this kind of idea that maybe he just likes the idea of her, and they're all embroiled in this weird, like, do we leave, do we stay, what the fuck are we gonna do with our lives kind of feeling, which makes a lot of sense for a teenager, but now I'm like, what the fuck is wrong with y'all? And it's just so weird. I think that the way it does everything is very, very interesting. I actually really like it. I think it's very amazing, but it's just such a weird story. I don't know how to feel about it. I enjoy the characterization of the male character because he's very much like a pretentious teenage boy, right? He's like, oh, I read fancy books, so I'm obviously smarter and more interesting than everyone here. But he also has this kind of like humbleness to him, which is like very like I don't know, teenage boy, because like you think you're better than everyone, but you also aren't sure that you're better than everyone. And then, depending on whether you prove that or not, depends on how you end up acting, right? And, young boys are shy, and, this kind of all this type of stuff. It's very, very interesting. It's very well done. This story is just so, so weird, man. But I really liked it, so I definitely recommend that you guys check it out. It's a very odd story, but it is quite good. So, yeah, there you go. That's all I have to say about this book. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did, please leave a like, subscribe, and comment down below. Let me know what you thought, and thank you guys very much for watching once again. See you guys later.